doing my research about our conveners, I realized that the Teaching Artists Institute is based in Baltimore, United States of America. For those who are versed in our history, this is a very symbolic place as it reminds us of the painful history of our people, the subjugation we have gone through in the past, and indeed, the fact that some of our own tribe found their way to this place through history's biggest crime against humanity, and that is slavery. I am not here to talk about the obvious perpetrator, because that is, of course, retrogressive in this context, but I am here to appeal to the African spirit that resides within each and every one of us, each and every one of my tribe, the melanin people. So the brief history I've shared here. Is to draw your attention to the common experience of our people suffering and untold abuse in the past, and the heritage that's left upon our understanding of the self, and the wounds that are still fresh in our memory for the lack of justice, repatriation, and at the least just an apology for the crime that was historically perpetrated upon our own. So today, I talk to a Congolese brother, a Somali brethren, a Sudanese sister, and I feel a recurrent concern that seeks justice, that seeks peace and liberation from mental slavery. It is good that I talk to cultural advocates and artists in this room. And let me put it to you that the role of making the voices of those brothers and sisters I've just mentioned lies upon you as the creative. The artist remains the voice of the voiceless, the medium of expression for social issues that trouble our modern society and threaten the liberation of the African mind. Remember, the conference is about art for social transformation. And the question is, what social transformation are we looking for? My standpoint is that the pursuit of every African in my constituency is the pursuit for freedom, is the pursuit for freedom from the shackles of mental subjugation. We seek justice in our resilience to put a stamp and leave a mark in the pages of global affairs. We are now transforming the African mind to be attuned to renaissance, to be part of the awakening of the potential of African people that has been lying dormant for a long time. The question now becomes, what is the renaissance that I am talking about? In seeking social transformation and empowerment of the African, what are the developments that the artist needs to be well versed in so that they can fully participate for their own assertiveness and to appeal to the general citizenry to become part of the movement? Let me draw your attention to the African Continental Free Trade Area, you might have heard of the AFCFTA. This is the biggest trade establishment on the globe that is being fronted by the African Union for the 54 or 55 member countries. Its main agenda is to unite the continent on economic grounds through elimination of barriers to trade that include high tariffs, visa requirements among African countries, and instituting free movement of people across the continent. Most African countries have ratified the trade agreement in a positive show of support for the agenda. However, as you probably know, the agreement is targeting exchange of goods like tea, ceramic tiles, and meat products, to the apparent exclusion of artworks. But here we are, calling ourselves the vehicles for social transformation. Yet the biggest trade establishment on the globe is excluding you, the vital core of society. Imagine how much benefits the continent would accrue from a network of artists engaging in cultural exchanges, doing intra-African exhibitions in galleries on the continent. Some artists are already thinking, well, we don't need the African market. Well, we already have the European market. But, well, let me make you aware of certain realities that engulf you trading your art to Europe and the non-African community. Number one, you are exporting your culture to people that have no intrinsic appreciation of its meaning. You are making money in the here and now. But if you imagine what is going to happen to the next generation of Africans, they will need to have a few of your art. and its cultural significance. If all our fine art is going to Europe, that includes the paintings, the drawings, and portraits. For example, the next generation of Africans will have to travel to Europe to experience your art after you are gone. Remember, our people are already traveling to Europe to see artifacts that were looted from us historically. So you are becoming a part of the vicious cycle. And we all know that that is not the legacy that we want to leave. Number two, we are learning that they are stealing our cultural symbols from us. They are stealing us. So, how many of you are aware that the famous Black Panther movie made use of the kente dress? There is a certain dress that was being worn by the main character in the movie. It's a kente, it's called kente dress. Okay. That kente dress is a trademark African cloth, yet no monetary benefit has come to the continent for its use in that movie. Just think about it. A Ghanaian folklore board even took steps to sue Marvel Studios for that particular abuse of African cultural symbols. Amen. That highlights for you the magnitude of the war we are fighting to bring collective benefits to our people. At the same time, confronting big corporates and governments that do not pay attention to our concerns. So what is the way forward? African artists need to unite. African artists need to unite. As it stands, I do not know of any continental artist representation to oversee the fact that artists are sufficiently represented on decision-making tables in Africa. But I throw the blame on you artists, because they choose to stand alone, each on their own, in their own corner. And you expect us to make headway. So the only way we can get the agenda of the people, being the voices of the voiceless, is to unite. So what is the proposal I'm making? I make a proposal and challenge you all to come up with this representation, at least from this conference. We need an All-African Arts Board, AAAB, an All-African Arts Board in the African Union Secretariat. And by the way, African artists are not just Zimbabwean, Mozambican, Angolan. African artists are in the Caribbean. African artists are in Baltimore. African artists speak to everyone of this black pigment. Those are Africans. Those are our brothers and sisters. Yes. So when we're talking about the All-African Arts Board that is going to be housed under the African Union Secretariat, it includes you and I.
Micronesia.
And every of our brother and sister who is out there.
Polynesia.
Start producing authentic art. Don't be engrossed in hegemonic standards of other communities and try to look or represent British art. Yet you're African. Tell the story of your people. Be among the masses like the fish in the water, as David Mugoshi would write. Be a voice for your community. So many beautiful stories of our communities go untold simply because the artist is focusing on the global picture, which in any way doesn't benefit the artist or their community. Be original. Comrades and fellow artists, I thank you for your kind attention. My name is Justice Tawedzegwa Mfiri, Secretary to the Zimbabwe Institute of African Integration. Amandla awetu, aluta continua. I thank you all.
Wonderful, amazing.